looking at a rotating wall cloud. It's almost on top of us. I can see some dust being lifted up into it. So it's getting better organized. I'm not going to say it's there just yet, but we definitely have to watch it. Back to you.
All right, nice job there, Tom. So Tom's in the Southwest. Let's go to the Panhandle, Beaver County. Folks, this is trying to produce a tornado. Let's go to Marty Logan now, live. And Marty Logan, do you see debris on the ground? Because I'm looking hard for at least a small little plume of debris. Give me an update.
Yeah, we are about 3 miles north of Bryan's Corner. We're in Beaver County. I think this funnel it's to the west of us. That may be real close to the Beaver, Texas County line. I started about 2 minutes ago with this thing. It's gotten lower. It's halfway to the ground. Debris on the ground. I do not see it yet, but we are keeping an eye on it. So this is going to be southwest of Tyrone, northwest of Bryan's Corner in Beaver County. It's getting lower as I talk to you.
Yeah.
It's at least halfway to the ground right now.
Well, okay, so halfway to the ground, it's going to get the half down rule. That will count as a tornado. Marty, we're going to stay with you here just for a second. Control room, we might obviously have a developing tornado. So
hey, we may have it.
It's
we
right
may
there.
Have it on the ground.
There
Let's
it is.
see.
Marty, zoom in on it.
Tornado on the ground.
There it is. I thought I could see it. There it is. Tornado on the ground. Okay, this is, Marty, give me your exact location.
Just a little bit.
There's your tornado.
Oh.
There it is. Go ahead, Marty. Exact location, direction you're looking off to the west. Go ahead, take it.
Okay, we are going to be Highway 270 83 Junction, known as Bryan's Corner. We're going to be about 3 miles north of that. But we are looking northwest, which would put that tornado probably near Adams in Texas County, south of Baker, south of Tyrone. It's on the ground. It started about 3 minutes ago. So we are watching it. It's trying to bring down the condensation all the way down. And it's just a real light debris field on the ground right now. And like I say, it's going to be real close to the Beaver, Texas County line, the Oklahoma Panhandle. And it's going to be northwest of Bryan's Corner, northwest of Balco, west of Boyd, southwest of Turpin. It looks like it's about maybe raising up just a little bit. I do not see that dust that I saw earlier, so short-lived, probably about a 5-minute long funnel, went to a tornado. That is going to be northwest of me where we're sitting right now, 3 miles north of Bryan's Corner in Beaver County, south of Turpin, southwest of Turpin, right on the county line. There it is. We're lifting back up right now. So there it is. We caught the first tornado out of this storm on the Texas Beaver County line. Back to you, David.
All right, great job there, Marty Logan out in Beaver County. This tornado was on the ground. You saw it live only on News 9. Marty Logan had it live out in Beaver County. This storm will eventually make its way into Harper County. It might look a little different when it gets there. It's lifting and it's dying right before your eyes. It's high-based. It looks like a High Plains, Colorado, Western Kansas, Panhandle tornado. And now watch it slowly disappear, and it's going away. You saw it come to birth. You saw it live its life cycle. You saw it hit the ground, and now you're seeing it dying, and it is now gone. All right, go to Links 1, and here it is, folks. It's way out here, but that was a tornado on the ground that Marty is on. Additional storms are developing west of Perryton. We'll have to keep an eye on these. So again, you folks in northwestern Oklahoma, stay heads up. Harper County, Ellis County, Roger Mills County, watch these storms. We certainly are. Okay, let's go back to Links 1, and we can reset that lace and go back to kind of the reset on Links 1 and tornado watch in effect for the counties in green until 10 o'clock tonight. That does include Oklahoma City. Right now we have 2 areas of concern, Beaver County and also down here in southeastern Kiowa County and Comanche County. Big supercell down here. One storm. It's moving almost due east or almost east-southeast at about 15 miles per hour, not very fast. We have 2 hooks on it, 2 areas of spin, right? One's right here. Another one is right there. And Tom has been on both of these. Jeremy Carter's looking right at it. Areas of spin continue to go up. They come down. But we're watching it very carefully. We've had baseball-sized hail down here, and we're getting that again. We're going to get golf balls. We're going to get tennis balls. And from time to time, we will get, again, some baseballs down here. It's now moving into Mount Scott and the Wildlife Refuge, okay? Big storm. You folks in and north a lot. And look at the spin here developing. There's an area of rotation here and another one back here. So 2 areas of spin down there. We're doing a storm track on the northern storm up into Beaver County, moving east-northeast towards Beaver slowly. Marty's right there. There's the hook. You folks in Beaver, keep a heads up on that as that makes its way off to the east. Okay, so we're talking about Oklahoma City right now. We got nothing coming our way. Not right now. Some of the data, though, still breaking out additional storms. A couple of showers near Kingfisher, and those are now gone. There's the action in the far northwest. And here's what we're going to do. We're still going to keep the moderate threat going for additional storms to develop in northwestern, western, and obviously down into southwestern Oklahoma. Some of the data break out 3, 4, 5, 6 storms. Other data break out 2 or 3 storms. But we do think we'll have an increase in this orange shaded area the next couple of hours. And with that threat, large hail up to baseballs, damaging winds 60, 70, 80 miles per hour, heavy rain, obviously, and that tornado threat. Here's our tornado zone between now and midnight. The highest threat is going to be out in the Panhandle, western, southwestern Oklahoma. Conditions are obviously a little more favorable there. And the biggest hail is going to be in the west and the southwest. As these storms move east, hail sizes will come down, but we still could see, if we get storms in the metro, we still could see damaging hail here. But right now, tennis balls to baseballs out west. Any one of these storms, winds 60 to 70 miles per hour, could see gusts higher than that as this complex moves east later this evening and tonight. Here in Oklahoma City, 85 degrees. Our dew points are running in the low to mid 60s. We have 80s. It's 99 in Altus, way hot. So future radar, once again, thunderstorms now in the Panhandle. We should see additional showers and storms develop across the west and southwest. That's the plan for this to happen. There's 6 o'clock, there's 7 o'clock, there's 8 o'clock, with, again, a couple of areas of severe weather running from northwestern, western, central, and southern Oklahoma. The main threat, large hail, damaging winds, but there will certainly be that tornado threat with any one of these storms that goes into that hyper mode. All right, so this evening, we're going to keep the chance of storms high. Again, we'll go down with the ship on this one. We might have to lower this, but right now we'll keep the chance of showers and storms high in Oklahoma City through northern, northwestern, and eventually southern Oklahoma. Everything will come out of the west and make its way to the east. And then again, tonight, well, now through midnight, that risk of severe weather does continue. I've already shown you that. That's the hail sizes and winds. Again, could see a couple of gusts, 80, maybe 85. Overnight tonight, storms in the east are moving out of here. They're gone. Lows tonight in the 60s. And then for tomorrow, back up to the 80s. Guess what? Tomorrow looks pretty quiet. Little rain in the Panhandle, some storms out there, not a big deal. We might have another wave of severe weather Saturday evening late into Saturday night into early Sunday morning. We'll be tracking that. Highs over the weekend, mid to upper 80s. And next week, more hot weather with highs in the 90s. Still a chance for more showers and storms off and on next week. We'll be back right after this.
Did you know that if you purchase an appliance from Hahn Appliance Warehouse and find a lower locally advertised price within 30 days of that purchase, we'll gladly refund the difference? Online or in stores, put us to the test.
Harry, I wrote a new jingle for Ferguson.
So let's hear it.
Oh!
Right now, get an all-new 2020
condensate did not reach all the way to the ground, but Marty zooms in and he had a small debris cloud on the ground. This is out in Beaver County. We had this live again only on News 9. Marty Logan had it, and there it is. There's your tornado at 4:16 today. There's your debris right there. Again, this is a weak tornado. Didn't last long, but about 2 or 3 minutes. And once again, you saw that right here live on News 9. There's your debris. There's your tornado. And you do not have to have condensate all the way through it for the tornado to be on the ground. When its strength is enough, the condensate will go ahead and fill that in. But it doesn't always do that. You get what we call an invisible tornado. And there's your debris. There's your tornado attached to the mesocyclone. All right, back to it. Lynx 1 looks like this. Tornado watch in effect until 10 o'clock tonight. There is that tornado warning for Beaver County. We're watching that storm carefully. Big storm in the southwest, supercell down here. We'll check in with our trackers on that. More storms to go. We'll take a break. We will be back shortly, right after this. Stay with News 9. We'll keep you advised.
Make a big splash in your backyard during Galaxy's Poolorama sale.
Tornado. We had the debris right here, a little tiny debris. It was, again, a small, weak tornado, not strong at all, but nonetheless, there you go. There's your elephant trunk, and the condensate didn't fill in all the way, but there's the small debris cloud on the ground right there. There's your tornado out in Beaver County at 4:16, live right here on News 9, only on News 9 from Marty Logan. All right, let's get to it here. Trackers are out. Wall clouds developing in the southwest. Big storms going on. down in Kiowa, now moving into Comanche County, rotating thunderstorms. Let's go to Hank, and Hank's looking at the left side of the mesocyclone. Hank, what do you think? That storm is still strong, still severe, and still spinning. Go ahead.
David, I'm just north of Elgin looking south, and in the last few minutes, the eastern flank of this storm has really surged out to the southeast. So, yeah, we're watching it. We can see this column, this vault right here, and we can tell there's some mid-level rotation with it, David. Back to you.
All right, nice job there, Hank, and we'll see what it does. That's a big storm, folks. It is rotating. Okay, back to Lynx 1. Tornado watch in effect until 10 o'clock tonight for all the counties in green. Severe storms here. The one tornadic supercell that Marty's on out in the Panhandle, that tornado has now lifted. It's not on the ground anymore. Marty's right there looking right at it. Big storm in the southwest. We have another cell developing near Tuttle. We need to keep an eye on that. But big storms again down in Comanche County. They're moving off to the east-southeast now. The hook's coming into Lawton. We have another hook back near Cache. Two rotating storms down here. They look like one big storm, but they are actually two separate storms. And shear rate ramped up right over Lawton. We've got to keep an eye on that. Here comes Tom. Here comes Hank from the northeast. Big hail, tennis ball size hail with both of those mesocyclones down there. And you can see the area of spin right over Lawton right now. Another area of spin back to the west where Jeremy is. So we have two big, nasty, gnarly storms. Now, we're kind of bringing these east, but man, I tell you what, they're trying to push east-southeast. But we're looking at Marlowe at about 5 o'clock. We'll say Bailey at about 5:18, Lindsay at about 6 o'clock, and Bradley at about 6:13. There's a chance these just keep moving more off to the east-southeast. We'll see what happens with that. Here in Oklahoma City, it's quiet. This is concerning. Little shower over Minco trying to become a thunderstorm. We'll see what that does. If that turns into a storm, that could give us severe weather here in Oklahoma City. We're watching that carefully. This is Marty Logan's storm out in Beaver County that he's had the tornado on. It is now weakened. It's moving off to the east, eventually coming into Harper County. So get ready. Ralston at about 6:26, Forgan, Beaver at about 5:09. It'll keep making its way off to the east. So we're talking about a low to a moderate threat of severe weather. We should see an increase in the storms where you see the orange on this map. So a moderate threat here through this evening. We have really those two areas right now, one in the northwest, Panhandle, and one in the southwest we are watching. Another update coming up in about 10 minutes. Guys, back to you.
We'll see you then, David. Thanks. Hey, now is a good time to download that free News 9 weather app in the App Store to keep you safe during tonight's severe weather.
A Metro toddler is rushed to the hospital after falling out of a moving car. Police tell us the child was in a car seat that wasn't properly restrained. News 9's crime tracker Jennifer Pierce has new details on how this happened.
Officers cited the parent who was driving, saying the three children in the car were not buckled in.
Check welfare with medical, Reno and Rockwell.
Police were called to the intersection to check on reports of an accident involving a toddler Wednesday evening. Officers learned the driver was leaving 7-Eleven when a passenger in the back seat grabbed the car door handle and fell out of the moving car.
The car seat, along with the child, had fallen out of that vehicle, and the child was then struck by a secondary vehicle that was following the first vehicle.
Police at the scene reported the toddler was taken to a local hospital in critical condition. The other young passengers were not injured. Besides improper child restraint violations, at 6, I'll have the other citations police wrote the parent. At police headquarters, Jennifer Pierce, Oklahoma's own News 9.
Jen, thanks. A man is in the Canadian County Jail for leading officers on a short, high-speed chase this morning in Yukon. Officers say William Pruitt refused to pull over, reaching speeds up to 120 miles per hour. Officers used a tactical maneuver to stop him. This was at I-40 and Council Road. Pruitt was arrested on several traffic violations along with drug and other felony warrants. And police also believe that Pruitt led them on a chase last week, but police had to terminate that one due to safety reasons.
In Denver, an officer was struck by a fire truck during the Denver Nuggets parade celebrating their NBA championship win. The officer was rushed to the hospital with serious injuries. This crash is being investigated according to Denver police. Right now, large parts of the country are going through a child care crisis. Millions of American families spend more than 25% of their income on this care if they can find it. Since the pandemic began, many families and facilities, they say, have closed or are struggling to rehire workers. Meg Oliver.
Amelia Emanuel is like so many single mothers.
I start my day between 4:30 and 5.
The 33-year-old working mom and college student commutes an hour every morning so her 4-year-old daughter Eliana can go to this daycare on the south side of Boston.
If you don't have childcare, then you now have to stay home. If you have to stay home, then you can't work. If you can't work, you have no income.
Massachusetts leads the country with the most expensive childcare. For an average family with an infant, it's pricier than some colleges at more than $20,000 a year. Emmanuel applied for a low-income voucher through the state. Instead of paying $250 a week for daycare, she now pays $11.35.
Not every location in the better neighborhoods will accept your voucher.
Across the United States, more than 50% of Americans live in a child care desert, meaning there's either no child care or there's more children than licensed care slots. Utah, Nevada, New York, and West Virginia are among the worst. Here in Outagamie County, Wisconsin, population close to 200,000, more than 1,200 children are on a wait list for child care. Last November, when this daycare shut down with little notice, full-time working moms Virginia Moss and Tiffany Simon took action.
Hi.
They bought the building and within 2 months opened Joyful Beginnings Academy.
Why do we got shovels?
Their school already has a wait list of nearly 100 kids.
What does this child care facility mean to your community?
I think it's bonded our community together.
Advocates are lobbying Congress to pass the Child Care for Working Families Act, so families wouldn't have to pay more than 7% of their income on child care. Meg Oliver, CBS News, New York.
We have to go on. All right, everybody, we are live in the Bob Mills Weather Center tracking, well, big storms out there. Tornado warning now does continue for Lawton, Comanche County, off to the south and east. We have Hank down there. We have Tom. We have Jeremy. That storm is spinning. No tornado on the ground yet with that. Marty Logan's had a tornado already today. We'll check in with our trackers coming up right after this.
Well, there's something for everyone at the movies this weekend after the break.
All right, so area of spin near and east of Indiahoma, tornado warning, pretty close to that. We're almost there on that. Tornado warning does continue with this. Shear rate on this is very, very tight. It's high, so we're having to watch this carefully. And this is going to, again, be moving off to the east-southeast.
The Lawton Police Department reporting tornado on the ground, south side of town. Power flashes and trees ripped up. That would be Sheridan and Jefferson.
There it is. So happening right now. Let's see here. I see Tom's shot.
And Hank's coming in from the north.
And Hank's coming in from the north. So trackers are almost in place now. So the tornado is going to be right. It's right here. It's right here. It's right here. So tornado now, it looks like on the ground, southeastern sides of Lawton. And Jeremy has the shot back to the west. Let's go to Hank here. Let's get a quick update from Hank. Hank, you're coming in from the north. I don't see any debris. Do you see any debris in there?
Right under the 7 marker, there's a little bit of negative, but it's not enough to say that's the tornado.
Okay, all right, let's get an update from Hank. Hank coming in from the north. Possible, again, tornado with debris on the southern and southeastern sides of, we're talking about of Lawton. Go ahead, Hank, give us an update.
Yeah, David, right now I'm dropping south out of Sterling, and I'm trying to race the hail core to get down here. I cannot see the base of the circulation because I'm looking through the rain and hail. So I can still see this left edge of the vault, but I'm trying to outrun the hail core to get down here to 7 where I can get up underneath the circulation. So about 10 minutes and I should have you the shot. Back to you.
All right, nice job, Hank. So Hank's almost there. He's coming in from the north. And again, this is down in the Lawton area, just east of Lawton. Tom Pastrano now is coming into the west side of Lawton. And let me look at his shot here. Let's see what Tom has. And he is coming in from the west. And there's his shot. Let's go to Tom. Tom, do you see anything off to your east? Tornado might have been on the ground there. We'll see if it still is. What do you think? Give us an update.
Everything's obscured by rain right now, but I do have some strong northeast winds here. I see a really large hail core just to my east, which would probably be in Lawton. So if you're not getting the tornado in Lawton, you're probably getting some huge hail. Back to you.
Okay. All right, Tom. Keep blasting east. You'll get there. You're almost there. Tom is now coming into Lawton, and he's going to keep moving off to the east as this storm moves east-southeast at about 20 miles per hour. So once again, tornado warning continues for far eastern and southeastern Comanche County. All right, so let's go back to Lynx 1, and let me show you that velocity, that couplet we're looking at. It's fairly broad right now. It's been trying to tighten up right here. But see, there's an area of spin. There might be another one back here, down again just east of Lawton. So let's go to shear rate. Let's see what that looks like down here. Yeah, there it is. Yeah, so it's almost like it's trying to reform on the east side of Lawton. Boy, it's not moving very fast.
And there's a lot of wind, David.
Yeah, oh, for sure. Is your mic hot? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, there we go. If I take this and query some of the data, the velocity is 70, 80 mile an hour winds easy coming into Lawton from the west.
Yeah, okay. Okay, well, Tom didn't have that. That's what's
Jeremy had some very strong winds. Yes.
Okay. All right, so at least 60 to possibly, 70. Okay, so some big wind. This is on the backside. The other mesocyclone's back in here, but this is the main one now on the east side of Lawton. All right, let's go back to radar. Let's take a look at it. There's the hook. This is Pumpkin Center. This is going to be far southwestern Oklahoma. Okay, nothing in Oklahoma City of any concern right now.
There's a storm over Moore that has been going up.
Yeah.
It's strengthening some. It's not severe. It's barely a storm at the moment.
Okay. All right. Let's do this storm here quickly, and then we'll jump back to the metro. All right. This is going to be moving. Let's go ahead and lapse this. Take a look at the movement here.
All
it's
right.
going right down Highway 7. So it's moving east, southeast. It's going to try to ride down Highway 7 and then go south of Highway 7. So if you live in Marlow, you're going to get damaging hail. You're going to get baseballs. We've had baseballs falling in Lawton with lots of damage in Lawton. Cars, windows blown out, homes damaged, you name it. Lawton just got trashed. And it was with that right here.
David, there is a track on 3 when you're ready.
Okay, okay, thank you, Cassie. So here's the hail core now running from Central High. This is going to be a devastating hailstorm. Tennis ball, baseball, maybe even some softball size hail with that storm there. But this is where the tornado is going to be right here, okay? All right, let's go back to Lynx 3 and take a look at that. And there's your storm track. And we're going to go at Pumpkin Center, 448, moving in. That's right about now. How about Duncan at about 517, Velma, 546, Purnell 601. We'll say Hilton 616 and Hennepin at about 618. All right, so you folks off to the east of this and southeast of this, prepare for large and damaging hail, winds 70+ miles per hour. Okay, you get those two together, you get baseballs and winds to 70, you're going to get a lot of wind damage. You're going to get a horrible, horrible wind and hail event over a much larger area, obviously, than a tornado. But we still have the tornado warning going on with this, and that is our concern right now. All right, so Justin, I think Hank's shot has locked up, if I'm not mistaken. All right, check in with him. Let's find out where he is. We have Tom coming into town now. Tom's making his way off to the east. All right, let's come back to Oklahoma City now. Let's go back to Lynx 1 here. We have a storm developing here in the metro. And
Jim's shot is up, and here in the metro, monitoring that, David.
Okay, can I talk to Jim? Okay, let's go to Jim Gardner. He's on this cell in the South Metro. That is a small supercell. It's beginning to develop a hook. Let's get an update from Jim, control room. And Jim Gardner, you're on that metro storm. It is spinning slowly. It's not very big, Jim, but it is beginning to increase just a bit on the southeast side of Moore. Go ahead, Jim. Okay, no mic, but we're going to get it. So this is going to be in the South Metro. Okay, this is Jim Gardner's shot. He's in the southeastern sides of Oklahoma City down here. Let's go back to Lynx 1, and let's take a look at this storm now, and we'll check in with some of our other trackers on the ground. Back to Lynx 1 control room. There you go. So there's the hook developing here. We have Brandon, we have Bob, we have Jim, we have Vaughn.
Kylie.
And here in Oklahoma City. So Justin, is Vaughn? Justin, is Vaughn in? Yes. Let's go to Vaughn. And we need to get Vaughn's shot. We'll get it, control room. Take his audio, control room. Let's go to Vaughn Caster. Okay, we'll get him in here. Okay, all right, Justin, let's get that figured out. And to find out where he is, we'll get him back in the system. All right, let's keep zooming in here. Let's talk about this storm here going up. A new cell developing now in the Southwest Metro. And again, that's going to be moving off to the east. So 2 storms here developing. Not severe. I want to point out this storm is not severe, but it is increasing quickly now. And the instability is high enough. So we need to keep an eye on that, okay? So going to have the hail sizes in here are going to be nickel and dime, right? Storm strength is beginning to increase. Let's go back to reflectivity. And let's see, a little bit of a hook right here, right over Heyday, right over Heyday. And control room, tell me when we get Jim back in here. We'll talk to Jim. Justin, tell me when we get Vaughn in here, please. And Vaughn's going to be to the north, and we need to get Vaughn's shot in here, if we can get that done as well. Let's find out what remote he's on. Let's bring Vaughn in here. All right, so storms not severe, but increasing in the South Metro. And they are spinning now, again, southeast side of Moore. You see a little bit of a hook here. That is a concern, okay? That is a concern. All right, let's go back to Lynx 1, and let's jump back into southwestern Oklahoma here, Lace. Let's talk about the Southwest. Tornado warning continues for, again, this is going to be for Comanche County. And look at the hook now. It's gonna come in to, and it's going to be west of Marlow, and it's going to be west of Duncan. If I live in Duncan, I'm thinking about my safe spot, where to go, lowest level, center part of the house, because this hook is spinning, and it's a fairly tight hook. Okay, so that's going to be moving off to the east-southeast at about 20 miles per hour. Another hook back in here. Let's go to Jeremy Carter, control room. Let's bring in Jeremy. Justin, let's bring in Jeremy, bring in his shot. And again, he's kind of freezing up down here. Let's get an update from Jeremy and what this storm is doing down there. That's the other mesocyclone back on the backside. Let's go to Jeremy. Go ahead, take it. Do we have Jeremy? Okay, he's in a bad area down there, bad cell area, but you can see his shot. See how it's freezing up from time to time? Hey, Justin, tell him to get his video in focus, please. Tell him to focus it in. And this is the mesocyclone. That's the western mesocyclone. Wow, that is impressive. That is impressive. There's a lot of knuckles hanging down on that thing. Okay, this storm is the western storm. This is impressive, for sure. Okay? And this is going to be the storm that's going to be down in just south of Cache, back into western Comanche County. And there's your wall cloud developing here. That's a mean-looking wall cloud. There's knuckles hanging down on that. And let me know when Jeremy gets in. Okay, is Tom moving east? Okay, all right. Okay, and let me, is Jeremy back in?
Yes.
All right, let's go to Jeremy Carter. Jeremy, go ahead, give me an update.
Yeah, David. This thing is really wrapped up over the last few minutes. And man, coming through the RFD punch, I bet I had 80.
All right, we just lost him again there. And again, he's in a bad sale area. We have his shot up. Okay, let's go back to links 1. And this is where Jeremy is. So he's on that shot I was showing you with the big, ugly, gnarly, hanging wall cloud. Tom is making his way through Lawton. Hank's coming in from the north, and Hank's going to be there shortly. We have a hook here. We have a hook here. Mesocyclone there. Possible tornado here with that cell, okay? It's, like I said, it's south of Highway 7, moving east-southeast. If you live in Duncan or know anybody that lives in Duncan, lowest level, center part of the house, tornado warning for you, it's going to Duncan. It's going to Duncan. It's going to cross Highway 81 as it moves again from the west to the east. And control room, do we have Jim Gardner audio? Yes. Okay, let's go back to Jim and get an update from Jim Gardner. He is tracking the storms in the Oklahoma City area. Jim, nice shot. This storm is going up in southeast sides of Moore, and it is spinning, Jim. It is slowly spinning. Give us an update.
I'm sorry, David, were you talking?
I was, yeah. Go ahead, Jim. You're looking at that storm down in the Moore area.
Right in the Will Rogers airspace east of there, and they're trying to get some planes out. They got microburst alerts at Will Rogers. They also have 30-knot wind shears coming over the one runway there. It is starting to rain over Will Rogers real heavy, but right now we're looking back to the southeast, David, and this storm is a lightning show. Right now there ain't no lightning showing right now, but we got some stuff that people are going to see later tonight that with the lightning going off and the heavy winds. We've had winds up to 60 miles an hour. Right now we got sustained winds probably 45 to 50 right now where I'm sitting, David, as this cell is just south of Tinker. And as it moves, and as I'm looking, let's roll the camera around real quick to the right there, DJ. And DJ, the photojournalist, will come around to the right, and we'll show you Will Rogers, David. You see the heavy rain starting to come down. Keep going, and you'll have to iris down a little bit there. And Will Rogers, you have to go back to the right a little bit. Will Rogers is right in there, David, and they are getting microburst and wind shear right now, and they're also getting heavy rain. So we got lightning all around us, heavy winds. People don't want to be outdoors in this. We'll keep you updated. Jim Gardner live from Bob Mills, Scotty's 9. Back to you.
All right, nice job, Jim. If you could obviously stay up, let's watch this storm, Jim, because it is increasing now in the South Metro. Do we have Vaughn Castor in here, Justin? Do we have Vaughn? Okay, let's go to Vaughn, and we'll bring Vaughn Castor in here. I want to hear what he's talking about. And Vaughn, area of spin developing near you, off to your southwest, Vaughn Castor. If you could give us an update, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm just now coming through the rain right now, David, north of this storm. I'm coming right up actually on the radar side. So this is going to be back to my southwest.
Tell me when they're
in.
I'm asking. All right, we just lost him. There we go. All right, well, we'll get back to Vaughn coming up here in just a second. All right, let's go back into Links 1. And again, this storm is not severe in Oklahoma City, but I'll tell you what, it's getting stronger. Conditions are favorable for large hail, damaging winds, and that includes, talking about tornadoes as well. But right now, this thing does have a weak area of shear on it on the back side, okay? East sides of Moore. Jim Gardner's down here looking right at it, and that's going to keep moving off. Right now, let's see the movement here. Moving off to the east-northeast, okay? And, okay, so Vaughn's on that. We have another storm going up in the west sides of Moore. This is kind of not doing a whole lot. Not real impressed with that right now.
And showers going up in Edmond.
Okay, yep, couple showers, yep. North Edmond here, going into south sides of Logan County. All right, so we're going to go back to Jim Gardner here coming up in just a minute. Hank's coming in on the north side.
Tom has that big hail there in Lawton.
Okay, let's go back to Tom Pastrano. He's on the east side of Lawton and get an update from Tom. And go ahead, Tom, take it.
Yeah, David, I had to pull off so I wouldn't lose all my windows. We had bigger than golf ball size hail coming into Lawton with 70-mile-an-hour plus winds. It's a tremendous hailstorm, a damaging hailstorm, and it's coming right through the heart of Lawton right now.
No doubt about it. This is going to be Storm 2, again, coming through Lawton. Lawton already had the first devastating, crippling hailstorm with the first one about 30 minutes ago, and now they're getting the second one.
They've got up to teacup size hail. That's 3-inch hail.
Okay, 3-inch hail. So we're talking, tennis ball. We're talking up to baseball.
Yeah, larger than baseball.
Yeah, and we might even see some softballs. So Lawton getting hammered again out of this. All right, so let's go to Hank Brown's shot. There's a storm. Okay, let's go to Hank and get an update from Hank. And Hank, what do you think? Look at that shot. Go ahead, Hank. That is a mesocyclone from you-know-what. Wow, that is impressive. Go ahead.
Yeah, David, I'm right on the north edge of the lip of the meso here. I'm at Pumpkin Center, and that big white thing you see in front of me is the hail core that's wrapping around on the back of this meso. And I told you earlier I was trying to outrun the hail core. I outran them all but one. I took probably a tennis ball right in the top of the windshield that shattered the windshield. So we were close. We can't play in the hail anymore today or we'll lose the rest of the windshield. But this right here is at Pumpkin Center, Highway 7, looking just to the southeast. It's kind of gotten the circulation kind of got gusty and gusted out a little bit, which tells me that it's probably, going to reorganize further off to the southeast. So probably, Duncan, Comanche, here in the next 30 minutes or 20 minutes, this thing's liable to cycle back up and re-intensify and get the circulation a little more organized as it moves off to the southeast. David, back to you.
All right, nice job there. So Hank is on that. He's looking, folks, that is the mesocyclone. And this might have produced at least some, it looks like weak tornado damage on the east side of Lawton. But that is the mesocyclone there, and wow, that is impressive. And he's looking off to the south. He's in Pumpkin Center. That's on Highway 7, east of Lawton. Hank is right there. And if it's on the ground, it's back in here in this rain. But velocity data, we're looking at that right now. It's definitely turning. There's no doubt about it. Okay, so Hank is going to stay with that. Okay, let's get back to it here. Links 1. And here's the hail swath, by the way. Yeah, the hail path, the hail tracks over the last hour or so. And I mean Lawton, Lawton, Lawton. You've just been hammered down here. Okay, so moving off to the east. First hail core went right through Lawton. Big hail core coming through Lawton currently. Okay, back to Jim Gardner. Let's take his shot. He's back here in Oklahoma City, and I'm going to talk about the storms in the metro. They are going up. And Jim Gardner, we have your shot. And I'll tell you what, Jim, your storm, it's not crazy, but we want to keep an eye on this. It is a supercell, but it's a weak supercell right now. On the east sides of Moore. Jim Gardner, it's a weak supercell on the east side of Moore. Go ahead, give me an update.
Well, that's right, David. It is weak, but it's got a tremendous amount of cloud-to-ground lightning in it. And like I said, the winds are, like I said, we've been in 60-mile-an-hour winds, so you can see all the dust in here. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to punch the haze filter on, David, and you're going to see the amount of rain that is falling. You can see the rain right there. Let's pan to the right, DJ, and we'll go over to Will Rogers. The haze filter on, you can see those rain shafts. You might have to iris down a little bit as we move here. But, yeah, that's with the haze filter, and you can see the amount of rain. Will Rogers is covered up with rain. Like I said, they had microbursts, and they have wind shears. And so this storm, like you said, it may be kind of weak, David, but the winds that are in it and the dust that's in the air right now is something else. So, that, we could have wind damage. We also can have, I know we're going to have damage from lightning strikes. We watch stuff just get pounded with lightning while we were flying into this. But anyway, David, that's about it right now. We are just south of downtown Oklahoma City, south of the river, shooting to the south right now. We'll keep you updated. Jim Garpoint live from Bob Mills, Skydiz 9. Back to you.
Okay. All right. Great job, Jim. Please stay up. We're going to keep the metro protected. We have trackers here. We have Jim here, keeping Oklahoma City protected and covered, right? That's what we're doing. And then we have, well, storms in southwestern Oklahoma that are going up. There's a lot going on, folks. We have storms all over the place. Okay. Northwest, southwest, and now developing here in the metro. This is going to be a developing tornado now, right here, and that's that shot. Look at that. Looks like something out of a textbook. If you love weather, and if you don't love weather, I don't care who you are, you got to love that shot right there from Hank Brown. That is that, and that is getting tighter and tighter by the minute. There's Hank. There's the location. That's that. That shot is that right there, and that is big time. By the way, that shot is live from Lawton, just absolutely getting decimated with tennis ball and baseball size hail live right now in Lawton from Tom Pastrano. They're getting hammered. Again, this is going to be a multi-million-dollar hailstorm for Lawton, crippling hailstorm for Lawton. Again, this is going to blow out many, many windows. It already has. This is a second storm with wind on top of that. All right, let's go to Hank one more time. Hank, look at the mesocyclone in your shot. My goodness, look at the right side of the mesocyclone. Wow, that is impressive. That is something else. Hank, give us an update on that. It does not look like it's on the ground, but it is spinning faster. Go ahead.
Yeah, David, you can see we're just kind of looking right up the bottom of this cinnamon bun here. It's a small updraft, a small mesocyclone. You can see it's very compact there. We've got wrapping rain curtains, obviously, feeding into this. Patty, go ahead and zoom up on underneath the bottom of the wall cloud. You can see the circulation there. This wall cloud is getting lower. It is starting to spin more intense. I can start to see some little appendages that are hanging down. There could be a possible funnel right there that's sticking out of the side of that wall cloud. So this thing has rapidly increased in its rotation and organization here in the last 2 minutes since we talked. So, this storm on this eastern circulation means business. I think we're going to have a tornado here in the next few minutes, David. Back to you.
Say that again, Lacey.
Geronimo tornado warning with a confirmed tornado. Jeremy's on that storm. It's going to go to the south and west of Geronimo, not this storm, David.
Okay, yeah, it's one to the west. Okay, so this is the eastern storm. Hank's right there. Hank thinks we might have a tornado here in the next 5 to 10 minutes. Left side of the mesocyclone. Pancakes are stacked from the ground all the way to the ceiling. Here we go. Let's go to Jeremy Carter. Let's bring in Jeremy. And you're saying a tornado confirmed on the ground?
Has been confirmed, yes.
Jeremy,
I've seen the tornado. I got ran over. I got splattered. And I've got...
Okay. All right. Justin, we need him to get in position to stop and get in position.
I've watched trees blow down. You name it. This is serious.
Okay. All right. Let's go back to it here. Jeremy's right there. He's going to get back in position. And... again, we'll see. Let's go back to velocity data here, and let me show you what that looks like. And wow, yeah, boy, that's ramped up. Jeremy's right here. See how the red's up against the green and the blue? He's right there. So let's get Jeremy in place here. And I'm looking at his shot right now.
And Cassie's got a track on both tornado warnings, David, headed towards Duncan, headed towards Walters.
Yeah, again, you folks in southern Oklahoma, if you have friends or family down here, again, we've got tornadoes on the ground right now, and this thing is nearly on the ground, the one that Hank's been on, and now this is more than likely on the ground as well, okay? This is going to be southeast of Faxon. This is going to be southwest of Geronimo, right here. So, Justin, keep Jeremy going east to see his shot, and when it comes back up, let me know. Wow, look at this. Look at the hook on that. We are hooking. Look at that, going into Oil Center. Yeah, wow. Okay, so if you live down here, if you live in Nellie, Oil Center, Chisholm, around or in the Chisholm Trail Casino, you know somebody who's there, you got to call them, let them know. Tornado developing to your west, and this is not moving very quickly at all. It's moving east at about 15 miles per hour, not very fast. Hank's right there looking right at it. And let's go to Hank and get an update from Hank Brown. He is right here on the north side. He's going east. Hank, what do you see when you look to your right? There's the left side of the mesocyclone. Hank, do you see it on the ground to your right? Is it on the ground? Go ahead.
No, David, I do not see it on the ground. So we're moving east with it now, kind of skirting the edge of the Harold Corps here, but looking due south at this now. You can still see the edge. I can still see underneath the wall cloud. I do not have a tornado on the ground at the moment. However, the rain core has really filled in underneath it. So it's possible there could be a small rain-wrapped tornado in there that I can't see. But at the moment, I don't see anything on the ground, David. Back to you.
Okay. All right. Great job there, Hank. So Hank is looking at the left side. Visually, he's driving, obviously, and the tornado is going to be developing just to his right. There's the left side of the mesocyclone. Let's get back to it. Lynx 1, and this is what what it looks like on radar here. Here's Hank. Here's that area. That's that shot right there. There's the left side of the mesocyclone, right? And it's right here. It's going to be just to his south. He's moving east. This is going to be right out his right window. He can see underneath it. He just told you that. It's not on the ground. But look at the hook. Look at that. By looking at radar, you think, oh, boy, it's close. But as of right now, it is not. It is not on the ground. But it's thinking about doing it for sure. Okay, let's get back and take a look at Jeremy Carter's shot here. And Jeremy is making his way off to the south. Justin, can Jeremy get east? Can he get east at all? Can Jeremy get east? Jeremy, you're going east, correct? Yeah. Okay, Let's go back. Okay, well, there's his shot. Can he talk? Is he in? Okay, let's go to Jeremy. Jeremy, we'll get you back in here. Yeah, go ahead. Give me an update.
Yeah, David. So this thing wrapped up. I don't know if it's still on the ground at this point, but I was coming south, and it literally formed right over the top of me. I literally had a wheat field, got harvested, and I ran through a line of debris. It was a bunch of brief, intermittent touchdowns, but with a greater kind of tornado. It was a large area of wrapping rain curtains with brief, intermittent touchdowns.
Okay. All right. Well, that's what it looks like right now. And again, possible tornado with that. Okay. He'll get a little closer to it here. Let's go back to Lynx 1. And let me show you these two areas of spin here. Pretty standoutish, right? Pretty hard to miss. Possible tornado south of, again, Hank. He's looking right at it. It's not on the ground. Hank can see underneath it. That's his shot right here. That's going to be Hank's shot. Here's the problem. It's beginning to become wrapped in rain. So the mesocyclone's becoming wrapped in rain, and when that happens, you can't see the tornado. You're going to go by damage, by power flashes, and by velocity data. And it's right here, and it's just a big ball of rain with the circulation right where my finger is, and that's what Hank's looking at, and that's that shot right there, okay? So it's going to be hard to detect. Okay, and then Jeremy's back here with this hook, and he's making his way east, and that's that shot right there. Okay, possible tornado on the ground with that. What you got?
I was saying, and Tom's in the hail core still in Lawton. I mean, that is a massive hail core that's pounding Lawton. That's the bottom left.
Yeah. Yeah, okay, let's go back to Tom, get an update on the Lawton hailstorm here. Tom, we're going to bring you in, and this is the second hailstorm Lawton's had in the last hour, and this is a big one. Looks like tennis balls to baseball-size hail. Go ahead, Tom.
Yes, David. This has been going on for about 20 minutes. I've seen up to baseball-size hail. It's just non-stop, relentless. I can only imagine how much is going on in Lawton. And you also know the flooding. It's probably there's tons of flooding in Lawton. So I actually got stuck here. There were a lot of people just stopped in the middle of the road, didn't know where to go, lots of panic. So I'll be heading out as soon as this stops here shortly. Back to you.
Okay, all right, great job. And if you have any interest, friends or family down in Lawton, you might want to check on them because they've got damage. I don't think anybody escaped this today. This is live right now from Tom Pastrano in Lawton. Tennis ball up to baseball-size hail. And this is the second hailstorm of the hour. Windows blown out of cars, homes, businesses, you name it. Lawton has been hammered, and they're still getting hammered. Okay, Lynx 1, let me show you the big view on Lynx 1, and we have some small, non-severe storms here in the metro, okay? Jim Gardner's up, watching that. Trackers are out in the field. We have severe weather in the northwest. Tornadoes out here. We've already had the one live on News 9 from Marty Logan, another tornado on the ground south of Marty, and I'm looking at that. Hey, Justin, does Marty see this to his southwest? Does he know there's a tornado on the ground?
He knows he's moving south.
Okay. All right. Because that is going to make its way through Lipscomb County and then eventually into Ellis County. So that is going to be a tornado on the ground there. Marty had the other one earlier. All right. So I want to point out another storm west of Hollis. That's severe. Okay.
Say that again, Marty.
And you're hot, Justin. And we're going to keep an eye on that as that moves off to the east. So we have really 4 areas of concern.
And while you're looking at that broad view, David, the latest high-res data brings the storms that are up near Val, near Marty, into the metro by about 10 p.m. It brings them all the way across the state. So that's why the trackers are there, of course, monitoring those very closely. Okay, so the latest data, some of the high-res stuff, takes this, and we can bring up some of the model data if we can. But anyway, so it brings it east-southeast, develops it? That's what we've been saying. A little further south, down towards Val, and then those southern storms come right at,
Okay, so Oklahoma City, this is what we've been saying all day long. What we've been saying the last couple of days. This is going to eventually fill in. These storms just took off early, but this will fill in and make its way off to the east-southeast, giving Oklahoma City more severe weather here later this evening. Lacey, what time is that when that next wave moves into Oklahoma City area?
About 10 o'clock. 10 p.m. is the latest data that it brings it in, 10 o'clock.
So we move it from there to Oklahoma City at about 10 o'clock tonight. Okay. All right, let's start in the metro here. Let's talk about Oklahoma City. And we have, there's Bob's shot. Do we have Vaughn's shot?
Yeah, Vaughn is on room 124.
He's which one? I'm sorry.
24.
Okay, so he's not on.
He's labeled as Bob for you. Yes.
Okay. Okay, makes complete sense.
I know. Vaughn is Bob. That's all you need to know.
That's all I need to know. Just go with that. All right. So let's talk about the Guthrie storm. It's going up. It's not exploding. Some very small hail going to Perkins, going to Kearney, going to Cushing. Okay. And we're watching this. And is Bob making his way east, guys? Is Bob making his way east, Justin?
He is, but I'm not sure if that's his right shot because he should be on 40 going east.
Okay, just want to make sure
he is making his way up to the Meridian storm that's trying to develop.
Yeah. Justin, he needs to get an I-44. You hear me?
He'd get to 40 and then 35 north?
Either way, I mean, he just whatever.
Yeah, he was just,
Yeah, he needs to get east.
He's headed in that direction.
Okay, let's go back to the metro here. Let's talk about South Oklahoma City. And, all right, so big hail developing here. And look at the hail here, folks. This is going to be big hail. Vaughn's right here. This is going to be big hail developing. Let's see where we are here. This is going to be Tinker Air Force Base, Northmore, South Oklahoma City. Boy, this is big hail. Let's go to Jim Gardner. Let's bring Jim back in here. This is Southeast 89th. There's Southeast 74th. And there's I-40, right? I-35 is right back in here. Jim Gardner, we're getting now radar indicating large hail, larger than golf ball size hail with that storm. Go ahead, Jim. Give us an update. This storm is now becoming severe. Go ahead.
Well, that's right, David. What you're looking at is Tinker Air Force Base. It's right on the south edge of Tinker Air Force Base. The cloud ground lightning has kind of ceased, but it is intensified in wind, and like you said, David, it has went severe, and now the hail is really starting. You kind of see a hail core in there. Like I said, it's just on the south side of Tinker right now. Will Rogers is now in the clear from all the heavy rain. We were just sitting on the east side of Oklahoma City, shooting down to the southeast at Tinker, and there's that hail core, David, you've been talking about, and that's Tinker Air Force Base right there. We'll keep you updated. Jim Gardner live from Bob Mills, Sky News 9. Back to you.
All right, great job, Jim. So Jim's on this severe storm that's becoming severe here in Oklahoma City. And we'll see what it does. Remember, the environment is set up to get big storms producing large hail, damaging winds. Is every storm going to produce a tornado? No, absolutely not. We know we have tornado damage in Lawton, confirmed damage in Lawton, getting reports of possibly a building collapsed with people in it. That's a real concern.
1900 block. And
that, Cassie, you're hot. So that is a concern in the Lawton area. And also, they're getting pummeled right now with hail. With big hail. Okay, so Jim's going to stay with this. There's Tinker Air Force Base, and that is a big sell. Okay, let's go back to Lynx 1, talk about the Oklahoma City storm again. South Metro, this is Tinker Air Force Base, and we'll get a storm track on this. This is going to make its way towards Hera, and there's Lake Stanley Draper. Here's your hail core now. It went right over Moore. Let's look at some of the hail sizes here on shear rate, and whatever it is, it's going to be a little bit bigger than this. And it's showing quarters. I guarantee it, there's at least quarters in this.
Yeah, that's been the trend today. It's been underdone.
Way underdone. So there's probably some golf balls in that in the east sides of Moore, near Lake Stanley Draper, and then now coming into and just south of Tinker Air Force Base. Big hail in here. Vaughn's right there looking right at it. And we'll get Vaughn back in here in just a second. All right, so let's go back to southwestern Oklahoma. We will get a storm track on that. Let's go to southwestern Oklahoma here, talk about the monster beast storm. Down here, we're calling it. Folks, this is a big storm. The hook continues to get very pronounced. Go ahead and zoom on into this and take a look.
Okay.
And, okay. Just a second here, I'm getting my bearings straight. Okay, so area of spin. Okay, here, yeah, back here is the circulation now. Pretty tight. Well, it's a little bit old. Okay. All right, so circulation, there's your hook on that, south of Geronimo. And then we have Hank's hook right here that's going to be just west of Duncan. So let's get an update from Hank. And let's check in with him. Hank, you've got to be looking to your south now. I know you're back in some rain. What do you see when you look to your south?
So right now, David, I'm on the Duncan bypass on the west side of Duncan, and I'm headed east. I'm getting ready to drop south here in a few seconds. Right now, I'm coming back out of the hail core. I can see the base. I don't see it as nearly as pronounced as I did before. It's become a lot more linear in the base. I don't have that big cinnamon bun that's swirling.
I still have a lowered area. As soon as I turn this corner, you'll be able to see it. I do still have a lowered base, a lowered area, but it's not wrapped up like a cinnamon roll as profoundly as it was. Here you can see it now as we're coming in. We're kind of starting on the edge of this hail. There's not a whole lot of hail, but the hail that I'm taking is baseballs and tennis balls, just a couple of miles. It's very little small hail, and then every now and then, we get a curveball thrown at us in the windshield that kind of, makes you tense up. But so right now here, we're coming back under the lip, and you can see that it is not as ominous as it was. It's still rotating, but this base looks a little bit higher. 15 minutes ago over Pumpkin Center. Back to you, David.
Okay, great update there, Hank. I'm going to take it here for just a second. Hank's getting kind of in the core on that. You can hear some of the hail, see some of the hail there falling, and he's got a very good eye underneath the base of that storm as that tornado warning continues and the storm makes its way in towards Duncan. Let's go to Lynx 1, and let me show you this big complex of this storm. It almost looks like one major supercell. It was two separate storms. They're just kind of merging in and out. We've got the confirmed tornado that's gone south of Geronimo. That's kind of the western side of this storm, and then the storm now that Hank is on that is going towards Duncan. So let's go to it. We're going to zoom in here, headed towards Walters. That is a confirmed tornado, and it's headed towards the north sides of Walters. There's another area of circulation southwest of Geronimo. That area of circulation is a little weaker, but the big time circulation with the dangerous part of this storm is coming just to the north of Walters, headed towards Quorum. And if you know anyone at Waurika Lake right now under the tornado warning should be, because if anyone's in a camper, in an RV around the lake, you need to seek shelter, okay? This thing is going to be coming in from the northwest. It's moving pretty slow. You still have some time, but this is headed towards Waurika Lake right now, and it's moving at about 15 miles per hour. So there's another area of circulation a little further to the north. We'll have to see, but it's kind of broad. It's kind of stretched out. Off and on, we have had multiple reports. This was confirmed on the ground, and we're still getting the circulation with the storm near Duncan. So two areas of circulation there. And just to point out for folks in the southwest, another severe storm south of Memphis, Texas, David.
Yeah.
That's going to be headed towards Hollis.
Yeah.
And we've got the severe storms in the Texas Panhandle headed to northwestern Oklahoma. So numerous storms, as we were fearful would happen, are playing out.
Yeah, almost too many.
Yes.
Really, we've got, and the problem is they're not close together.
Right.
So we have trackers. Thankfully, we have the largest team of trackers in the nation to be able to do what we do, and that is track severe weather here, confirmed tornado now, also there, and also down to the south. So let's go to Hank Brown with his shot, and he's down here in this big supercell. He can see it clearly again. Go ahead, Hank, give us an update. You're looking right at it. Hank, unless it's in that rain right there, it doesn't look like it's on the ground right now. Go ahead, give me an update.
Yeah, David, I'm right up underneath it. We are up in the eyeballs of it, and yes, nothing is on the ground. You can see the hail. So you're looking south right now. You can see the vault just above me that's wrapping around. This is kind of going. This circulation is going kind of on the southeast side of Duncan. I'm on the bypass, getting ready to make the Highway 7 loop, and so I don't see it on the ground now. That we do have a pretty strong rain and hail core. I'm going to pull over here real quick. But right here, I'll get you a good picture of this wall cloud. It's not as pronounced as it was. There's still some circulation with it. You can see it spinning. You can see these wrapping rain curtains, but I don't have any funnels. And that, like I say, the base is lowering again. You can see the movement in it, but it's not real super organized that would make me think a tornado is imminent. Now, at the same time, it is a rotating thunderstorm that is throwing out big hail. So you can definitely see the mezzo is still there right above us. You can see these clouds just turning like a carousel, David. Back to you.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I mean, that, folks, you're looking at okay, this is the ring, we'll call that the ring of fire, around the mesocyclone, right? This whole thing is spinning right in front of Hank from left to right. Inside is where you'll get your tornado. You can see through that. Now, what you'll watch for, this is pretty cool, scary, right, if it's coming at you, but you'll see these rain curtains start to rotate around this cylinder. This whole thing is spinning, right, from left to right, spinning from left to right. So you'll go see these rain curtains doing that exact same thing. That's what he has going on. But sometimes the rain will fill in, it'll produce a tornado, and it will be wrapped in rain. Like Hank just said, he can see through this right now, and we don't have a tornado on the ground. But the tornado warning does continue, and it is now coming into Duncan. All right, it's right there. It's right there. Okay, let's go back to Lynx 1, and there it is. Okay, so big hail right behind Hank. Going to be some tennis balls now and baseballs. Okay, going to be between Marlow and Duncan. Very large hail crossing Highway 81. This is going to do a lot more damage to a lot more people than a tornado because it's so widespread as far as damaging hail. All right, and then we have the hook down here.
And that, David, the confirmed tornado with that, we have a report of a house ripped off north of Cookietown, 6 miles north of Cookietown with that back west storm.
Yeah.
And at the time that happened, debris on the ground about 400 miles to the east of that location. 400 yards. 400 yards east of that location. So there is damage north of Cookietown as well.
All right, north of Cookietown, that came out of that. Here's Cookietown. The tornado was right there. And again, okay, so that's that area of spin. Let's talk about the Panhandle now.
Okay.
And because it's coming back into northwestern Oklahoma.
Yes.
All right, so we have Brandon's making his way to the south. Let's jump back in here.
Okay, and while we're doing this Shawnee storm is going severe, Cassie just said.
Okay, all right, and we want to keep Jim on that. We want to keep.
Val shot has a tornado on the Panhandle.
I see it. Okay, let's go to Jim. Excuse me. Let's go to Valcaster. He's to the southeast. Marty's coming in from the north. Let's go to Valcaster and bring him in. And Val, is the tornado? Is it on the ground? Go ahead. Take it.
On the ground, it's in the process of getting narrower and thinner right now. It's trying to rope out. It was bigger just a few minutes ago, but you could clearly see from our shot, narrow, almost a rope funnel, needle funnel all the way to the ground. Right there, there's a pretty decent-sized debris cloud on the ground. If you can see from our shot right there, I'm going to say we're still about maybe 5 or 6 miles away from it, so we're not right up close to it. But it looks like to me it's the end of a life cycle of a tornado that was much larger. That's kind of what we could say, because when we first saw it, David, we were about 3 miles back down the road, and it looked to be a lot bigger than it is now. But I'll tell you this, it's strong enough to be producing a pretty good-sized debris cloud right there. So that's going to be pretty much northwest of us, and it's going to be somewhere in the vicinity of probably southeast of Perryton, we're thinking. Back to you.
Okay, so this is kind of what we thought would happen today. We would have tornadoes in the northeast Texas Panhandle making their way into northwestern Oklahoma. Val and Amy Castor, they're right there looking right at it, along with Marty Logan. And I'm looking for Marty's shot here. Marty is making his way back in from the north. He looks like he's stationary. And I'll tell you what, let's go to Amarillo real quick here.
Okay.
Just see what it looks like.
Sure, that's Dodge City.
Yeah. Okay, and what does shear rate look like? Is Marty, okay. All right, so, hey, Justin. Justin, get Marty moving, please. Get him moving south.
Okay, Marty, go ahead and go south.
Yeah. Okay, so there's Valcaster's shot. Control room, put Valcaster's tornado back in here. Again, in one of the boxes. That's a tornado right here. Okay, now, folks, I'm going to point out, let's lapse this. Okay. This is Harper, Ellis County. Folks, you folks in Shattuck, up to Laverne, Harper, Ellis County, you need to be watching this. Another tornado warning now to the north of that storm. Marty's on that. Okay, so I tell you what, let's go to velocity data here. Let's make sure we have both of these areas covered. Justin, hang on to that for a second. So we've got another area of spin to the north. Let's do this. Let's do this.
Want Marty go north, Val go north?
Yeah, okay. Marty go north, and then Val stay on the southern tornado. Get Marty north on that storm right there. So this is another area of spin. So Harper, Ellis County, prepare for tornadoes coming out of the Panhandle, moving into Harper and Ellis County.
I'm going to give you a little extra lead time here.
Yeah, great.
Just 1 second.
Derazette at 6:01, that's in the Panhandle. Laverne, 6:43. May, 7:04. Buffalo, 7:13. And Logan, self-storage, there you go, 7:27. Fort Supply at about 7:30. All right, so 2 areas of spin. Lipscomb County, Beaver County, going to Harper County, going to Ellis County. That's where they end up. Possible tornadoes moving into Ellis and Harper County. And there's the tornado there. Let's go back to Valcaster one more time and get an update from Val. Val, we're going to take your shot. Tornado on the ground in the Panhandle. That's headed for Ellis County. Go ahead, Val. Give us an update. We have a shot. Yeah, he's up. Well, yeah, his audio's not good. Again, once you get out in rural areas, you get western, southwestern Oklahoma sometimes. So there's a tornado. still on the ground, okay? And here's the deal. That's going to weaken. It'll probably fall apart. But these have been cycling. They produce some tornadoes, and they weaken. That's a weak tornado overall, okay? That is not a strong, violent tornado by any means. That is a weak tornado. But nonetheless, if that's headed for you or coming down your street, that's a big deal. Okay, that, again, is in Lipscomb County. Okay, let's go back to Lynx 1. Let's talk about the Metro. And then I'm going to check in with Jim Gardner again. So the cell in Lincoln County's died or weakened some. Actually, it's died. And the cells down here are beginning to weaken. Are they not?
So this is producing 60-mile-an-hour winds.
Okay.
Is the thing. There have been some reports,
Yeah.
50-55, coming into Shawnee. So Pottawatomie County, it's severe 4 wind.
Okay, yeah. And there's got to be some hail in it, but right now it's going to be a wind threat. And let's go ahead and zoom on in. Vaughn's right there. And we have Vaughn. And control, there's a little bit of, okay, a little bit of spin right there. Let's go to Vaughn Castor. He's on I-40, southeast of Newalla, headed off to the east. Vaughn, winds about 60, 65 in that. And that storm is still severe, making its way off to the northeast. Give us an update as you make your way towards Shawnee. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm on the very north edge of this storm. I've had a little bit of small hail with it on this north side. I've not been in the core yet. I'm getting ready to drop down right up here about a couple miles. We're going to drop back into the core and sample that, David. But we're going to follow this as it moves towards Shawnee. Back to you.
Okay, all right. Nice job there. So,
hey, David,
yeah.
I just want to chime in. Speaking of Shawnee,
Yeah, go
we
ahead.
did get a picture a second ago. It's on
Yeah.
Links 2. They can throw it up behind you
Okay.
or whatever, or behind me. But we did get a picture from Debbie Blackwell of a little tree, small tree.
Links
but a
3?
tree that, Links 4.
Links 4 control room.
Of a
Okay.
small tree that got bent over, broken in Shawnee. So
Okay.
obvious wind damage there. Something
Yeah.
that we're watching with that storm.
And exactly what we don't need after April 19th. They don't need any more wind in Shawnee after the EF2 tornado moved across every square inch of the city, basically. All right, so that just happened in Shawnee. Great job, Andrew Adams, looking good. All right, back to Lynx 1. And once again, this is that wind to our east. It looks like the winds have come down. They've weakened slightly north of I-40. It's kind of pinwheeling to the north. Let's put reflectivity back on here and see what it looks like. And man, this thing has really come down. Yeah, it's really coming down. So this is weakening. Still gonna, when it collapses like this, still can see winds 50 to 60. Shawnee, Meeker, Prague, you're gonna be in that line of fire with these storms as they make their way east-northeast. Not a tornado threat with these right now at all, okay? Let's go up top with Jim Gardner. Let's see what this storm looks like from the air. Let's bring Jim Gardner back in here and get an update from Jim as he looks off to the east control room, if we can get that shot up. And there you go. Jim, that storm is producing winds. We've got a little bit of some light wind damage in Shawnee. Give us an update as you look off to the east.
Well, that's right, David. I'm just on the east side of Hara right now, shooting down towards the Shawnee area. And like Andrew said, and it's strictly a wind event right now, and it is weakening, but we still had winds. We passed through winds that are probably 55 miles an hour. And as the storm weakens, like you said, it could produce even winds higher than that. But we got a lot of dust in the air out here, so it's just strictly wind event, not too much cloud-to-ground lightning, and it continues to weaken, David. Jim Garpoint live for Bob Mills, got his 9. Back to you.
All right, so we'll see what it does here. Jim is still up. We'll see what that storm does. But we have more storms to go. Folks, it's only 5:30. It doesn't get dark until 9. And we're going to see a lot more storms for sure. Okay, so back to Lynx 1. Look at the size of this storm down here. You could take this storm and put that over every square inch of Oklahoma County. And it runs from Guthrie to Norman. Okay, it runs from Yukon over to Luther. It covers up all of Oklahoma County. This is a large supercell with 2 mesocyclones. By the way, tornado continues on the ground in Lipscomb County. That shot's from Valcaster, and that is going to be coming into Oklahoma, into Ellis County. That's why we're there. We're watching that. And there you go. Nice job, Lacey. 42.5 miles wide. That's the width of that storm. And it's producing tennis ball to baseball size hail. We've had tornadoes confirmed. Tornado damage in Lawton. We have damage in Lawton. We have damage near Cookietown from another tornado, from the second tornado back here behind the main line with that one. All right, so we have Jeremy down south. He's watching that. Let's go back to Hank. And Hank is in the inflow notch. See the notch? This thing is breathing, right? It's alive and well. That is just boy, what a shot, Hank. Hank, it's wrapped in rain. What do you see when you look through that? Do you see anything at all on the ground right now?
I don't. So I'm going to give you a bit of a pano. That's that leading edge of the meso. And as I pan back here to the south and the southwest, you can see that huge hail core and then the backside of the meso here. So if there was a tornado, it would be somewhere in there. And it is so dense and heavy in there, I can't see anything. I don't see really wrapping rain curtains or anything. It's so dense in there now. I do still have this slow circulation like a big carousel above us, but I don't see anything that, is spinning real localized or real fast that would make me think a tornado is imminent, unless there's one back in that rain core. And if there is, I just can't see it.
Okay, all right, great job. Well, Hank, so like Hank said, he cannot see it, but that's what's scary is that there's so much rain in here that it could be wrapped in rain. All right, velocity data, still pretty strong. No doubt about it, tornado warning needs to continue, and it has produced tornadoes, right? We know that it has. It's had a history of producing tornadoes. As it was coming through Lawton, we have that damage in Lawton. We have more damage back near Cookietown. And by the way, I want to point out, this is going right over Waurika Lake. It's summertime, a lot of folks at the lake camping out, doing whatever. You're, floating on the floaty. You're not paying attention, and to the west of you is the developing tornado. You're in a camper, you're in a tent, go ahead.
Even if you don't get the tornado, David, winds 80 miles per hour measured at the Oklahoma Mesonet at the Walters Mesonet site. That was about 15 minutes ago, and it was moving over Walters. But there is so much wind within the supercell as well, even if you don't get the circulation from the tornado.
Yeah, I mean, odds are you're probably not going to get a tornado, but odds are really good.
Right.
In that zone, you're going to get damaging winds. Let's go to velocity data. And, okay, God, it's pretty broad. It's trying to, okay. It's right here. I get it. Go back to reflectivity.
Okay.
I'm just curious. Yeah, it's kind of doing something weird. What does shear rate look like? Okay. Yeah, it's pretty broad now. Definitely rotating. Definitely area of spin. But look at this signature east of Walters. Now, this is damaging winds in here, okay? Confirmed tornado, at least earlier. With damage near Cookietown, confirmed tornado with damage when it came out of Lawton with this, and look how much tighter this area is now. That's east of Elmore City. Okay, so that tornado, but like Hank said, he cannot see it because of all the rain that's wrapped around that area of circulation. All right? Okay, so let's, I tell you what, Hank shot, I'm still looking at it because every time I look up, it changes, and I'm looking for anything crazy in there. All right, let's go to Tom. And where's Tom? He's making his way back from the, well, I'll tell you what. Okay, Tom, I know you got in the big hailstorm. You're making your way back south and east, trying to get back in this. And Tom, we just had that, like Lacey was saying, winds to 80 miles per hour at Walters just a few minutes ago. And that area of circulation now is just off to your east-southeast. You're on the backside. Give us a quick update.
Yeah, David, I just drove through Lawton, and gosh, there's some significant flooding going on. All of the trees are shredded. I saw some tree branches down.
Okay, well, and he saw windows, again, taken out. There's roof damage. There's car damage. It is a mess. Okay, let's go back to Lynx 1. And remember, we have 3 or 4 areas here. All right, so there's a hook. There's a hook, right? So we're watching both these areas. And again, once again, tornado warning, it does continue, right? If you live south and east, by the way, Duncan right now is just getting trashed with big hail. Baseballs, man, oh man. Big hail and big hail. The radar is underestimating that, I promise you. There's tennis balls in there, every bit of that. It's a big, deep mesocyclone. Big, deep mesocyclone. All right, so that's going to keep moving off to the east-southeast. Velma, Loco, Fox, you folks, heads up. Possible tornado coming your way. All right, mesocyclone, at least you get out of it. Winds 70, 80, maybe 85 miles per hour, up to tennis ball, up to possibly baseball size hail. And this hook is still alive and well and breathing. This hook now coming into Lake Waurika is still alive and well and breathing. And these are moving off to the east-southeast. You know where they're going? This is going to Ardmore, okay? If you have any interest in Ardmore or Wilson or Hilton, get ready. This is coming. Possible tornado, a lot of wind, and a lot of hail.
What do you think about Falls Creek, David? They're just south of Davis with so many folks that camp there.
Well, yeah, it's going to be close. Yeah, it's going to be close. I mean, if I'm in Falls Creek, you know, I'm thinking about where to take shelter coming up, at least from the hail. I think the mezzo looks like is going to miss. The mezzo misses, it looks like right now, but they might be on the north side of some of this hail in Falls Creek. Wynnewood, Pauls Valley, maybe some small hail, lightning, and thunder. It's going to be close, Lace. Yeah.
Okay, we had a lot of questions from folks and parents, you know, who have kids down that way.
Yeah.
Across the state, you know,
Yeah.
they send their kids to Falls Creek.
Yeah.
So a lot of questions coming in about that. And right now, it looks like the tornado threat may go south.
Yeah, and that's the way it looks, and I agree with that, and I think that's right. So we're going to go with the mesocyclone, the area of spin. The tornado is going to go south of Falls Creek. Here's Falls Creek. Went through every summer growing up. Great place, lots of fun, except when you have that coming towards you. By the way, when I was there, we never had this coming towards us. It was always 110 degrees and blazing hot. Oh my gosh, it was hot. All right, so tornado warning still going on. This is going to be for Stevens and Jefferson County, and it's going to Carter County. You folks, again, the kids in Falls Creek, you're going to get some wind. You're more than likely going to get some hail, but unless this thing makes a turn to the right, we need to watch it. The mesocyclone is going to go to your, south, but not by much. Not by much. All right, there's this mesocyclone here. Tom's coming in from the east, from the west as it makes its way to the east. Okay, so 2 areas of spin right here. 2 areas of spin. Mesocyclone 1, mesocyclone 2, and it's amazing how far these are apart, not very far, and just 2 incredible updrafts. And they're able to sustain themselves being this close to each other. Winds 60, 70 miles per hour. We'll probably have winds higher than that. All right, let's come back to the city here, talk about Oklahoma City, see what's coming our way. And we had the one severe storm go up near Shawnee, and Jim is keeping an eye on that. This is no longer severe, but we have some new cells going up. What's the lightning look like in that? Anything?
There you go.
Okay, so not very many strikes.
Really over near Holdenville, kind of Seminole County.
Okay, so Seminole, Wewoka, Holdenville, sure. Thunderstorm, small hail, gusty winds right now, 40, 50 miles per hour. Might get a gust of 60, but 40 to 50. Let's lapse this here, Lacey, and just see what it does on the movement. Okay, it's almost, it's due east. So we woke it now. It's coming into Holdenville from the west. We'll keep an eye on this. And then from there, it's going to head over towards Hanna and Scipio. Okay, Wetumpka, you'll get in on the action. Okay, but it's no longer severe here. But this is a new area of spin we're watching there. All right, so nothing headed towards Oklahoma City right now. This cell went up and weakened. What's the cell doing down here? Is it still?
Still severe.
Okay, let's go to Frederick here and just take a look, see what it looks like. Okay, boy, it's a small storm, isn't it?
It is all by itself.
Yeah, which is scary, but it looks like it's shrinking. Okay, so this is severe, and it's going to Hollis. If you live in and north of Hollis, it's coming your way, but it's weakening. Yeah. Okay. Well, maybe it'll die. The rain would be good. We don't want the severe weather. All right. So
has a good shot at that tornadic storm.
Yeah,
still.
I know. I just looked up and saw that. All right. So storm strength. Lapse that again, Lacey. Boy, the western storm. Does it come down that much?
According to the bills, it has.
Yeah. Wow. Interesting.
Reflectivity. Yeah, it has.
Yeah. Okay. So what's happened? This is becoming the dominant storm now, and we still have the mesocyclone back here. It's still spinning, but the back western mesocyclone and storm is weakening. The front part is still the main storm. Look at this shot. See this right here? See this little hole opened up? Watch this right here. See that? That hole where there's not any data in there? Let's go to Hank Brown now. See, I'm going to keep my finger on that. That is that. Coming to you, Hank. That is that. So that donut hole is that donut hole. And that's where the tornado is going to be. Hank, it'd be hard to see unless you can see through rain, my friend. Give us an update.
Yeah, David, if you like photography and storm structure, this is absolutely beautiful in that sense. So what's happened is you can see, I'll pan to the left a little bit, you can see the mesocyclone. You can see that this big rain core, that donut hole in the middle is where the circulation is. However, this new area to the right here is taking over. So it's kind of like it's taken a northwest flow but right on the back edge, let me zoom in here, right on the back edge of that rain core, we have some kind of a dark lowering in there. It's possible we could have a rain wrap tornado or a funnel in there. It's just the visibility is so hard to see. Right in there is where I think that we potentially have a funnel or, some vortices that keep spinning and touching the ground. But like I say, it's just so obscured in rain that I can't hardly see it. Besides that point, this new feature right here that I'm showing, and you can see that it's kind of developed a new wall cloud, and this is on the northwest side of this whole big mesocyclone. So, it's definitely going through some transition here. Like what you said earlier, it looks different every time you see it. Things are very dynamic and fluid, and they're changing rapidly. But, this is still to be contended with. There's still a lot of rotation. I know there's monster hail. My windshield knows there's monster hail in there. And we were taking about 3 minutes ago, probably 80-mile-an-hour northwesterlies back into this. So, if anything, there's going to be a lot of damaging wind as well, David. Back to you.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And, wow, I mean, these storms have both produced winds to over 80 miles per hour. So, I mean, if you don't get a tornado, which, again, most people won't, we're going to be talking about damaging winds and big hail. And that will do a lot more damage, at least a lot more widespread damage. Anytime you get, obviously, anything larger than golf balls and tennis balls, you're going to have problems. And that's what we have going on down in Lawton. That's what we've had down there.
Speaking of the hail, I've got a lot and hail pictures.
Okay.
Softball size hail.